seven figures in futures. Um, but you know, when I first started trading futures, my first day, I lost 8 grand. By the end of the first week, I had lost $28,000. I deposited $30,000 in an account. So if you don't follow the rules, and I wasn't following the rules, I was treating it like a video game, right? I was just pressing buttons. I used to say my spidey senses are tingling and I feel like it's about to go up. And there was no rhyme or reason. I was just throwing in trades. So first day lost 8 grand. By the end of the first week, I almost blew my account. That took me on a journey uh, of learning. I had to apologize to the person that introduced me to trading because I wasn't respecting his rules and I wasn't respecting my capital. And so I had to humble myself and apologize so that he could mentor me and teach me. He was like, "Okay, I'm done. I'm done with you." And so I had to humble myself. But that took me on a 2 year journey of just trading futures every single day, and I loved it. So bottom line, is there risk? Yes. Can you blow an account? Yes. Should you learn anyway? Yes. I believe that every single person on here should learn this skill. This is a life skill that if you master the skill, you never have to worry about money again. Period. Okay. However, these disclosures are there in place to let you know that there is risk involved. So Algo Alpha has we have four main strategies. I think I took one out because I wanted to update the slide. So we're not going to talk about Crypto Alpha today because I need to update the percentages of the slide. But this one has done 192% growth. This is actually higher if I show you this live. Crypto Alpha, here it is, 658. I have to update this one because this is actually less right now. It's about 590, somewhere like that. It took a loss in January and took a loss in December. But overall, it's been the most profitable, high risk, high reward. Algo Alpha Trader, this one has done 420. And then Alpha X is done 84.76. This one has not had a losing month in 2.5 years, right? So we'll have to see where it ends up. This was a very extremely volatile month, but so far, this particular strategy has not had a losing month in 2.5 years. Now, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Okay? This these are my words. This is Mr. Warren Buffett who said these words, right? And who is Warren Buffett? Only one of the most richest people on the planet, right? He was worth at 65, he was worth $4 billion. At at the latest you know, reanalyzing of what his worth is, he's made about $85 billion, right? So he from age 65 to now, he's made another $81 billion, okay? Averaging about 22% a month. And so when you make, I mean, 4 billion is already, incredibly successful, right? But doing it 81 billion after you're 65 is just super, super impressive. So does this man know what he's talking about? Absolutely. But he found something that averages about 22% a month. That's what he makes, right? And he puts his money to work. And so if you understand what that concept is, then it could really, really change your life. Now, what does the Academy cost, folks? Well, just to recap, get the foundational training, the trading essentials, the core basics. This does not give you the automation. It does not give you the tools and the software, but it does give you all of the education, the live trading sessions, the live trading sessions, all the video recordings, all of all of that, the video library, etc., and access to our trading community. So that's for a one-time out of pocket of $200 and $99 a month. We have the Elite package and the Premier. Differences, okay? Number one, price. $500 one-time out of pocket and then $150 a month. Now the difference is this gives you all of the education, but it also includes the tools and the software. So you have the Einstein scanner. Now, this is a very important distinction between both of these packages. The Einstein scanner in the Elite is available only for the Forex market. Okay, only for the Forex market, which is phenomenal. We could just, if all we had was that for $500 and $150 a month, we could monetize it that way. But we give you all of the education as well, and we give you access to three strategies, either on Omni or on Alpha Algo. So that's three of the strategies that we showed. Now, the Premier package gives you everything we just talked about, but the Einstein scanner is unlocked to all markets. So every single market is open. Options, stocks, futures, crypto, and gold. And then Omni and Alpha have 7 strategies that are available to you. That's for a one-time out of pocket of $1,000 and $200 a month. Now, if you wish to have your monthly fee waived for 4 people of the same value or higher, and then it is absolutely waived. So once you have 4 people that have the same membership level as yourself or higher, then you get that monthly fee waived. Or, as long as those people are on auto ship. So, folks, that is our core presentation. Now, I did let you know that I was going to show a couple of things that nobody has seen before. And so I'm going to check and see if we have.
Recording stopped.
Yeah. Thank you for turning off the recorder. Give me just a second. Let me see if we have Mr. Luis here. Luis, ¿estás aquí? Yes. Luis, ¿estás en la sala?
Hola, hola, ¿me escuchan?
Sí, sí, te escucho. Ok.
Listo.
Permíteme un segundito. Nomás quería saber que estabas en la sala.
Listo.
Okay, so folks, what I want to share with you right now, I'm going to have to translate. But before I go into Spanish mode, I want to tell you that we have been diligently looking for different solutions for everybody, right? So we have, we have people right now on the strategies that we have trading with 20,000, trading with 100,000, trading with different balances, right? But we do realize that not everybody has $5,000 to fund their, that's the minimum amount that we have right now for one of our best and safest strategies, which is Algo Alpha X, right? And so we've been looking at a few things. And actually, I've been looking at 2. And one of those has been doing about 22 to 25% a month with small balances. And so we're not stopping on that one, right? We're going to continue to vet it out and the whole thing. But a very good friend of ours, that I've known for about, I don't know, 15 years or so, she came to me and introduced me to this gentleman that I'm going to introduce to all of you right now. And we've done a lot of business together over the years, and she's like my sister. And so when she introduced me to Mr. Luis, I was actually hesitant, right? Because I got to tell you, I've heard it all before, and if it wasn't because of who she was, I might have not taken the call seriously. But I took the call seriously, and I'm happy that I did because Mr. Luis has been a programmer for the last I don't know 10 years or so. He started messing with technology when he was 16, and he's a very impressive young man. He's grown up in the world of AI. He's grown up in the world of algorithms and the forex market. So I'm super impressed with what he's put together because typically when you see an algorithm as detailed as we're about to show you, it really doesn't really exist, right? This is actually pretty phenomenal. So I'm going to share a few slides, and then I'm going to ask Luis to jump in and just give us a little bit more information outside of what I'm going to show you right now. So, Luis, les voy a dar un poquito de información acerca de lo que tú tienes. para que las personas puedan familiarizarse un poquito y después me gustaría que nos hablaras un poquito acerca de lo que viene siendo el algoritmo, cómo funciona, así como lo has hecho en el pasado, y si nos puedes enseñar algunas de las cuentas con balances pequeños. Básicamente, actualmente, yo te lo mostré, tenemos estrategias donde son muy buenas, tienen un récord de casi 3 años, algunas, tú las has visto, pero necesitan un balance de 5,000 a 25,000 dólares para poder utilizarlas, porque honestamente esas son a nivel institucional, son esos algoritmos que tenemos. Entonces, um, ya les hablé un poquito de que tienes años de experiencia, pero quiero hablarles un poquito de mostrarles algunos números y entonces para que puedas participar con nosotros y yo te pueda traducir. ¿Está bien? Okay. So
Sí.
I'm gonna start sharing. Give me just a sec here. Let me do this here. Give me just a minute here, folks. Can you guys see my slide? Good, good, good. Thank you, Brandon. So this is called Neuro FX Gold. The only thing that this trades is actual gold. Um, and so I'm tickled to death, right? Because one of our businesses where we have a mining operation in Nevada, so this is actually pretty cool. But Neuro FX Gold, AI powered trading excellence, right? And so I'm going to show you some of the results here, and then I'm going to let Luis cover this in more detail and show you the live MyFX books. But this strategy started off incredibly impressive. It did about 1,300%. And um, however, the first thing that I saw was the drawdown, 53.81%. So this is a very high drawdown. So remember, high risk, high reward. Now, but that's not a high risk that I would want to take. And I wouldn't want anybody to take that high risk, period. I don't care what the results are because you can blow your account very easily. So even though this was impressive, I was like, wait a minute, Luis, 53%, what is that? Right. And so then showed me that he ran this strategy in all of 2025. Now, this is what you need to understand. That drawdown was so high and was running so high that it was actually able to do some very impressive results, right? So in April, it did 114.77%. Now that is huge, guys. And the way I analyze this is look, when the tariffs hit, it sent so much instability that it shot up the price of gold, right? So that's literally what happened. And so that's probably what we're seeing there in April. When other algos took a loss, this one won because it was trading on gold. And so anyway, as you can see, 45.23, 21.29, 26.63, all of these, even with that high drawdown, every single month was positive, right? Every single month was positive. So we don't see a negative month here, which is phenomenal. How many of you think that's pretty good so far? Is that pretty good? Is that worth the risk? I don't know. You tell me. Everybody's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. So now this is what I'm gonna say. Okay. This isn't the end of the story. Okay. Because I don't care how good these numbers are. 55 or 53% drawdown to me is like, wait a minute, that's just way too much drawdown. And so and Luis knows that, right? And so they went back and they started tinkering with it some more, and they got it down to where now the drawdown is 10.8. Now, if you remember from I've shared some of this before on drawdowns and what that means to your account. And so the algos that we are currently running that have a track record of over 3 years have a 19% drawdown. So and those are good. I mean, those are running, right? Not a problem. So now this is running at a 10.8 drawdown. So out of $100, that means $10.80 would have been at risk, right? Which is very, very manageable. So since these improvements have been put into Euro FX, this has done phenomenally well. So this in November did 14.5. In December, it did 35.21%. Let me say that again in English, 35.21%. And in 2026, 57.45%, with a drawdown of 10.8% and with a track record of a year of solidly working when it had the higher drawdown. How many think this is something that is pretty good? Just Brandon. Brandon's ready to go. But okay, Erica, Chris. Now let me ask you, do you think that you have people in your life that would benefit from this? Okay. Now, here's the best part. Here's the best part, in my opinion. This strategy will run with a minimum of $1,000. Look at Brandon. Look at Brandon. Brandon's just like, what? Brandon. Now, to be honest, it'll run with less than that because Luis has shown me accounts of $800. And so I want to introduce Luis to you. I'm really grateful and thankful that he's here. And you know, we're finalizing all of the details. We're going, you know, we're putting together some contracts, some structures. We're about 99% there. And so I invited him to be on here. I told her it was just going to be the leaders of the company that were on. And you know, moving forward into our event that we're having in Vegas, I wanted just the leaders to be on here to see this session because you guys are the ones that are going to take this message out, right? You guys are the ones that are going to run with us. This is on 1,000. You could fund your account with $1,000, and this thing's going to run for you, okay? And that is huge. So without any ado, I want to introduce to you Mr. Luis Valdera. He lives in the Dominican Republic, which is great because my wife and I just bought a little 2-bedroom condo over in the Dominican Republic. And so we're going to be visiting him very soon. I think it's in October when we get it. So finally being finished the construction. So Luis, bienvenido a la sala, Luis. Les hablé un poquito ya de tu perfil, tu experiencia, todo eso. Pero si nos puedes guiar aquí, te voy a dar control de la sala. Yo voy a ir traduciendo. Así es que dame chance de hablar, o sea, di algunas cosas y dame chance para traducir para que podamos continuar. Chris, I need control of the sharing here.
You should have it, and Luis should be able to as well.
Ok, Luis, creo que puedes compartir.
Hola, hola a todos, un placer. Mi nombre es Luis Valdera, como ya hemos hablado. Es un placer, un gusto estar aquí con ustedes.
Hi, everybody. My
Nada,
name is Luis Valdera. Happy to be here with you. And yeah, basically. Continúa.
y nada, me gustaría que podamos hacer algo grande con esta oportunidad que tenemos en las manos. Y nada, aquí le voy a compartir un poco de cómo básicamente está diseñado el software, cuáles son las funcionalidades, de cómo opera y qué tecnologías estamos utilizando actualmente para tener estos grandes resultados que tenemos hoy en día.
So he's going to give us a breakdown of the technologies and how everything is set up, how everything's configured in order to give the results that we are seeing today. And he's excited for the opportunity of making this a very big opportunity and a big win for everybody.
Dani, ¿pueden ver la pantalla, verdad?
Sí, sí la vemos.
Ok, perfecto. No, básicamente este es un sistema que está especializado únicamente en trabajar con el oro.
Okay, this is a system that has been specifically designed to work with gold assets.
Ya que lo tenemos estudiado por bastante tiempo, aproximadamente 2 años.
Been studying this for the last 2 years.
Conocemos bien su comportamiento y en base a eso decidimos crear un sistema eh, automatizado con inteligencia artificial para poder
So,
tratar
so,
de sacar beneficios.
so we understand the volatility of gold, how it moves, and so we wanted to build an automated trading system that works with AI.
La idea de este sistema es que hasta donde la tecnología nos permite a nosotros, logramos hacer que el sistema piense y pueda razonar de manera autónoma.
So, to the ability that technology permits us, we have designed a system that gives the system autonomy in how it works, fully automated.
Básicamente consta de 5 inteligencias artificiales o 5 cerebros, donde cada una de ellas tiene una función específica en el mercado.
So it consists of 5 different AI technologies or 5 brains that all have a way of looking at the market and make the decisions to trade within those 5 different parameters.
Hay una inteligencia artificial, por ejemplo, que se encarga de analizar los indicadores, todos los indicadores, los cuales involucran el tema del oro para saber en qué momento se puede comprar y vender.
So one of the AI technologies scans all of the different indicators that are out there, like your Bollinger Bands, your RSIs, so it scans for all of the indicators, right? And that's one of them.
Hay otra IA que se encarga básicamente de analizar todas las temporalidades, tanto de 1 minuto hasta 1 hora, para buscar o tratar de buscar oportunidades o mejor oportunidades en ese rango de referencia de marco de tiempo.
So there's another AI that scans all of the time frames. So it's looking for which time frames have the best opportunities to be able to trade on this particular asset, which is gold.
Hay otra inteligencia artificial que se encarga de analizar los volúmenes y también las noticias, para saber cuáles noticias son de alto impacto y pueden hacer o intervienen directamente en el oro, para así saber el IA en qué momento o si debe esperar o si debe tratar de buscar un poquito mejor de tiempo para hacer la operativa.
So it has another one that scans for volume, but it also scans the news. It's looking at all the news that can potentially affect the price of gold on the upside or the downside, and whether or not it should wait or jump in or to look for a different time frame to actually trade.
Hay otra IA que básicamente es una red neuronal que es colectiva, está en la
Perdón.
nube,
¿Es una qué?
una red neuronal.
Okay.
Hay otra IA
Sí,
que es una red
explícamelo con
neuronal.
manzana.
Ah, bueno, es una inteligencia artificial que puede almacenar información de distintas cuentas donde están conectadas el sistema para ir aprendiendo de cada una de ellas, de
Okay.
todos los brokers que están conectados.
Okay. I told him to break it down to like a 5-year-old level because he's like really high up there. And so, this other AI, what it does, it scans all of the current accounts that are trading and how they're trading and learns from the way those accounts are trading and how they behave. In a nutshell, that's what it does. Continúa.
Cada una de esas cerebros o inteligencias artificiales tiene un nivel de confianza, que cuando el nivel de confianza pasa del 70%, entonces se le pone como prioridad de si se debe vender o comprar.
So each one of these 5 different brains or AI technologies has a rating. Once it crosses the rating of 70% or higher, then it's going to look, do we buy or do we sell based on the data?
Entonces, la última y quinta IA es básicamente la juez que básicamente sirve de juez para decidir si en ese momento, antes de hacer la operativa, dice, ok, si en este momento, con estas condiciones que tenemos, vamos a ver en el pasado si vemos alguna operativa que se dio y cómo se dio con estas condiciones que tenemos actualmente. Y en base a eso, hace la operativa.
So the last AI, what it does is once you get to that threshold of 70% or high, it's kind of like the judge. It's going to judge past data with these market conditions, replicating the market conditions that we have right now in this percentile. Let me look and scan and see what has been the results in the past with this data. And then it makes a decision.
Ok, y básicamente lo último que tiene es un sistema también de alerta y de protección. El sistema de alerta consiste en que dependiendo si el precio cae mucho o sube mucho, él detecta los pips de 2000 pips en adelante y hace una pausa para saber si hay alguna manipulación y trata de reducir las siguientes operaciones, el lotaje al 50%.
Okay, so then it has some alerts and some safeguards depending on the price movement. So if the movement goes up really high or really low, it looks for manipulation in the market, and then it adjusts the lot size to minimize risk on the downside, right? So it's analyzing the pips and how they skyrocket because the market's going to have predictable movements. And so it's analyzing those potential hikes or dips in order to safeguard your account.
Y el sistema de protección es básicamente un stop loss que tiene, que es configurable por cada usuario, pero nosotros lo tenemos ahí porque entendemos según nuestro análisis y lo mismo que nos recomienda el software, es que tiene un stop loss a nivel del 7% de la cuenta. Es decir, si el precio se va muy, muy, muy en contra, él trata de cerrar esa operativa en ese día para cuidar el balance de la cuenta.
So the stop loss is configurable. Every user can, depending on your risk tolerance, can adjust it. But the way it comes out of the box, right? It looks for protecting if there is a dip in the account of 7%, it's going to trigger a stop loss and get you out of the position to protect the integrity of your capital. So if there's a move that there's 7% that is puts your account at risk, it'll shut off and it'll hit your stop loss and you're out of the trade.
Y listo, esa sería la cosa más importante. Si quieres, puedo pasar a mostrarle las cuentas con los capitales pequeños para que vean los beneficios.
Yeah, so that in a nutshell is how the system works. And now he's going to switch over to show us some of the accounts, live accounts that are trading with us with small balances. Adelante.
Sí, voy a conectarme del teléfono para poder mostrarlo. Aquí está
Okay,
la
he's going to connect with his phone. So, Chris, let him in, please, and give him sharing with his phone as well.
Daniel, you have to make him co-host with his phone. I let him in, but you have to.
Okay. Let's see. Please. Preview. Creo que ya estás, Luis.
Ok, entonces déjame compartir la pantalla. ¿Cómo está la transmisión? ¿Puedes ver la pantalla ahí?
Sí, sí la vemos.
Perfecto. Entonces vamos a revisar las cuentas.
So we're going to look at a few accounts here.
Vamos a empezar con esto. Esta es una cuenta que empezó con $6,000.
This is an account that started with $6,000.
Aquí pueden ver la fecha de cuando se hicieron los dos depósitos. El 16 de enero.
On the 16th of January.
Del 16 de enero al día de hoy.
On the 16th of January to now.
Tenemos un beneficio de $954.
It's made $954
en 15 días.
in 15 days.
Esta es una cuenta de $2,000.
This is a $2,000 account.
Empezó el día 14 de este mes.
This one started on the 14th of this month.
Y al día de hoy tiene un beneficio de $480
And it's made $480 so far
en 15 días.
in 15 days.
Esta es otra cuenta de $2,000.
There's another $2,000 account.
Esta empezó el 25 de este mes.
This one started on the 25th of this month.
Y en tan solo 4 días hizo $163.
In 4 days, it made $163. Wait, was that my account? ¿Esa era la mía?
No, no, esa es de un compañero.
Okay. Pues
Bueno.
casi empezamos al mismo tiempo, creo.
Sí, la tuya es esta.
Yeah.
Tú empezaste el 22.
El 22. Okay.
Sí.
Yeah. So I started on the 22nd, and by Wednesday of this last week, it was up $198. So it did about 10% in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 5 days. It made 10% on the account. Is that pretty good, guys?
Voy a buscar otra cuenta pequeña.
Tú me habías enseñado una que tenía como $800
Era una de Mills.
o de $1,000, ya.
Sí, lo que pasa es que no tengo tantas cuentas aquí. Déjame ver, Forex AI. Un segundito.
He's trying to find one with a smaller balances. Get him started early, my friend. That's all I can say.
Esta, aquí. Esta empezó con 1,592.
This one started with $1,500.
Y en este,
almost 16, yeah.
esta sí tiene el mes completo y en el mes generó $899.
So in the month, this has like a full month. It did $899 on a $1,500 account, $1,600 account.
Sí.
Is that pretty good, guys?
Esta cuenta es de 5,000. Empezó el 27 de este mes y en 3 días, en solamente 3 días, hizo $333.
So this one started January what? 23? ¿Qué día empezó?
Empezó el 27
Oh, this one started on the 27th.
y en 3 días hizo $333.
And in 3 days made $333.
Y vamos a mostrar una cuenta grande para que ellos puedan ver también lo que puede generar una cuenta grande.
Now, on a big account,
Esta cuenta, que es mi cuenta personal,
this is his personal account.
la cuenta empezó este mes con aproximadamente $50,000
This one started with about $50,000.
el día 6
The 6th of January.
del día 6 hasta hoy generó un beneficio de $24,127.
It made $24,127 on a $50,000 account. $24,127. Now, guys, January was on fire. 55, 56%. ¿Qué nos puedes decir? Eso no va a ser todos los meses.
No, mira, según las estadísticas que nosotros tenemos, el promedio mensual que te puede dejar el sistema. ¿Me están escuchando?
Yeah, sí, te estoy
Ok.
escuchando.
Porque me salió algo en la pantalla. Bueno, mira, lo mínimo que te puede hacer el sistema según nuestros análisis y demás con un riesgo sumamente bajo como lo tenemos ahora mismo, usando 0.01 lote por cada 2.000. Lo mínimo que te puede hacer en un día diario es el 1%. O sea, estamos hablando de un 20% mínimo al mes.
So it's looking the way it's analyzing the data and how the lot sizes work and everything associated with the analysis that they've done is that they're looking at around a minimum of 20% a month.
O
Now,
sea,
again, past performance is not indicative of future results. We can't say that. We can't guarantee that. We can't use any language promising any type of returns out there at all. All the best way to do this, get set up, put $1,000 in your account, show your results, because you can show your results. Hey, this is what it's doing for me, right? And that's it. And show the MyFX book that I'm showing, and that's it. But we can't guarantee any returns of any kind. So, but based on the analysis that he's done, that's what they're shooting for is 1% on each trading day. But it's that's not something that we can go out there and say. Okay, so I want to make sure that you understand that. But I need to translate the answer, right? And that's the answer, but there's a disclaimer. Okay. Tengo que darles la parte que, hey, esos son los resultados, pero no podemos decir eso, no podemos decirle eso a la gente que vas a ganar este tanto, porque
no,
lo
claro.
mejor es pon dinerito en tu cuenta, enseña tu cuenta con el MyFX Book y ahí ya todo tranquilo.
Listo. Te digo esto porque uno de los peores meses del trading es diciembre, por el tema de todas las fiestas que hay. El mercado no está volátil porque generalmente las grandes instituciones y grandes empresas no hacen inversiones a finales de año. Ya a final de año tratan de cerrar las ganancias para luego a principio de año entonces hacer inversiones. Y ahí es que el mercado comienza a moverse nuevamente. Y aún así, en el mes de diciembre, con la baja volatilidad que teníamos, hicimos un 35%.
So basically, what he's explaining is that on the worst month of the year, which is typically December, because the big hedge funds, the institutions, the banks are closing out positions, right? They're not moving positions. So the volatility of the market is very low typically in December. And so even through those market conditions, plus you're losing at least 3 days, right? The 24th, the 25th, and the 26th, the market is closed. So even in spite of those conditions, what this did, and I showed it to you in the PowerPoint slides, it did. In fact, I'll bring it up real quick so you guys could see it. In December, and see, this is why documentation is so important, because in December it did. This is this month. In December, it did 35.21% last year, December 2025. I mean, this is phenomenal, guys. I don't care for what month it is. If it was January, this would be phenomenal. If it's October, it'd be phenomenal. If it's September, it'd be any month, it's phenomenal. But based on market conditions, typically in December being the worst month to trade in, this is absolutely outstanding performance. And so, yes. Adelante, Luis. ¿Tienes algún otro comentario?
No, si tienen alguna pregunta o algo que...
Okay, does anybody have any questions about NeuroFX? Let me be very clear, okay? Questions that relate to NeuroFX, okay?
I think the only question everybody wants to know is when can we get started?
Okay, so that's the question, right? That everybody wants. We're working out the final deal. Todo el mundo quiere saber que cuándo podemos empezar, Luis. Luis y yo estamos trabajando. Yo creo que para este fin de semana ya finiquitamos todo y necesitamos implementar algunos sistemas. Yo creo que la semana entrante, yo creo que sería realista que pudiéramos empezar, ¿no? ¿No es cierto, Luis?
Sí, sí, claro, claro.
Yeah,
Tú solamente me dices...
I think by next week, I'm not going to give you a date because I got to talk to our COO. I got to talk to Juan, make sure that he has everything set up so that we can start. I want this to be a smooth ride. Okay, so I don't want to rush it. I want to do it right. And so we'll be ready on Monday. No, just kidding. No, we'll get. Anyway, no. I want to do it right, And I want to have the least amount of friction. I can tell you that the number one customer service thing is going to be, how do I set up my broker account? How do I set this up? How do I set that? So the setup is where, and so we want to have some videos recorded. We want to have, just like we do with Algo Alpha, we got to replicate all of that to be able to get this up and running. But the system is very similar. So we're going to model what we already are doing. But here's the big thing, guys. If you have a trading account already set up, I would go ahead and fund it with $1,000. That would be the very first thing, because the most powerful thing is to be able to show somebody your own personal testimony. That's going to be the most powerful thing that you can do. Now, we're not talking 5,000, we're not talking 10,000 or 25,000, which is what we currently have that. And people are still signing up. So this is like taking something that, number one, has higher returns with less capital requirements. I mean, it's like God was hearing our prayers and is like, boom, here it is. And so that's what we have in our hands right now, guys. So I really hope that you understand the power that we're about to unleash on the Byld Academy. I mean, this is true lightning in a box. Do you guys get that? So everybody's like, when can we get started? When can we get started? Um, Luis, una preguntita aquí de Bárbara. Barbara dice que no fue $66,000 que fueron depositados en la cuenta.
No, los 66.000 es la sumatoria de las ganancias con el capital,
So Barbara,
menos el retiro que yo he hecho.
so Barbara, what you saw was the 66 was combined the profit and the gain, and then minus the withdrawal. So that's where that 66,000 number is. Okay. Okay. Minimum. ¿Qué dirías que sería lo mínimo, mínimo, mínimo que alguien puede correr la estrategia?
Mira, hay dos maneras de... Mira qué pasa. Hay dos cosas. El sistema puede correr perfectamente con $1,000 como mínimo, ¿verdad? Pero ¿qué pasa? Van a haber algunos días cuando el sistema abre varias operaciones, ¿verdad? Ponte que 4 o 5 operaciones. Si tú estás copiando de una cuenta master que tiene $2,000, que es lo recomendable, cuando tú copies de la cuenta master a la cuenta de $1,000, debes ponerle a la cuenta de $1,000 lotaje fijo de 0.01. Porque si le pone que multiplique basado en el balance, pues no te va a abrir la operativa. Ahí lo tiene claro, ¿verdad? Porque la cuenta master es mayor que la cuenta pequeña.
Mhm.
Pero puede correr desde $1,000 hasta cualquier balance de ahí en adelante.
Okay, so the minimum amount for it to run the best, right? The optimal results is a minimum of $1,000 on your trading account. And so I think that's phenomenal. I think that anybody, can come up with that. I don't think that's outside of anybody's budget. And maybe it is, but I think that we can go out and get the vast majority of the people that really want to try this out.
Un
So
balance, sí, perdón, un balance recomendado y óptimo serían $2,000.
now a better one would be 2,000, right? But it'll run on 1,000. But the best one that he recommends would be 2,000. But it will run with $1,000 as well. Okay. Any other questions?
Brandon está
On
preguntando
the
por el máximo.
upside, there's no limits, guys.
No hay
So
límite.
there's no limits of how much somebody can deposit. That would be a broker question. So if your broker has any limits on how much money can be deposited, that would be on the broker side. But as far as the strategy side, there is none. So here's another question. So when we fund our account, the funds get distributed to Luis's instead of Algo. The funds are never distributed anywhere. The funds always stay in your broker account. The difference is what master strategy is connected to your broker account. So all Luis does is provide the copy trader algorithm, and then the platform that connects is it's called the social trader tool, which is the counterpart of Omni, but on desktop version. So to answer, you fund your broker account. You don't send the money to anybody. You're not going to send money to Luis. You're not going to send money to Chris McHenry. You're not going to send money to anybody. You're going to only send money to your broker. And then when you submit your order, if you're brand new or if you're already with us, you go through the steps of setting up your broker account, setting up your social trader tool account, setting up your MyFX book account, funding your account, and then it's up to you whether you want to download MetaTrader 4 or 5 to watch every single trade that you take. I don't even do that because I'm not going to sit there and watch the trades, right? That defeats the purpose of automation. But you can go through all of those steps. And so you fund your account, that gets connected to, on the back end, on the admin side, gets connected to the trading tool, which is the social trader tool. And then that's connected to a master account, which trades for you. And that's it. How does one fund with crypto or fiat currency? Either or, Carla. So if depending on your broker, it's they're going to give you funding instructions, and some of them are wires, some brokers take credit cards, very rare, but they do. Some of them are out there that do. Or you could do crypto. Typically, if you do crypto, the funding takes, maybe 5 minutes and you're up and running and you can start trading right away. So if you can get crypto, usually, Bitcoin, Tether, Ethereum, all of those are very very well received with brokers. And with my experience, I funded with crypto my account twice, and in literally less than 5 minutes, the funds were there. Okay, what else do we have here? Any other questions? You're very welcome, Carla. Any other questions, folks, before we say goodbye to Luis here? I'm trying to, so there's no maximum. I just saw that question. 2000, okay, from 6th to January 24th, and what time frame? Daryl, are you asking when that 24,000 and what time frame? That was from cuando sacaste esos $24,000 o hiciste esos $24,000 de ganancia en tu cuenta personal, ¿cuándo fue que empezó la cuenta a correr, Luis?
Esa es la cuenta auditada de los 3 meses.
Okay, so in 3 months it made 24,000. ¿En 3 meses hizo $24,000?
No, en un mes.
Oh, the 24,000 was in 1 month.
Exacto.
So it was 1 month of trading.
Corresponde al 53%, 57% que llevamos de beneficio.
Okay, that was that win had to do with a 55% increase this month, and so he withdrew his profits. Yeah, that is crazy. Yeah, that's phenomenal. Alrighty, well, Luis, muchísimas gracias. Everybody, hang tight. I wanna finish off right here, but Luis, muchísimas gracias por tu tiempo, brother. Vamos a estar en contacto.
Siempre, hermano.
Y para así a ver si podemos empezar a correr la semana entrante. Aquí todo el mundo está emocionado y van a correr con esto. Así es que vamos a finiquitar todo este fin de semana, el
¿Listo?
lunes más tardar, y para ya empezar a correr, ¿ok?
Excelente. Muchísimas gracias a todos y un placer, un abrazo. Sí,
Anyway, everybody, say bye. Put it in the chat if if you got value from this chat. Say goodbye to Luis as well. Ahí te van a poner en el chat. Se van a despedir de ti.
Okay. Bueno, chao, un abrazo. Fue un placer, de verdad. Y nada, a arrancar con todas.
Ok, Luis, bendiciones. Cuídate mucho. Chao, chao.
Bendiciones, hermano. Gracias, Dani. Un placer. Un abrazo.
Bye.
Chao.
So, folks, now that it's just us girls talking, how do you guys really feel about what you just saw? I mean, do you guys feel like this is a good opportunity? Outside of yourself. Now, I want you to put your network marketing hats on. Okay. Is this something that you think you can run with?
I'm so rated, excited.
Everyone can unmute. So
Yeah, just let's just have a conversation. Any questions that you didn't ask, you just unmute yourself and just, just ask.
Man, this is a blessing. We need this. This is amazing, man.
I'm excited.
Financial freedom, man. This is a dream come true. This is beautiful.
Now, guys, let me follow up with this, okay? This is what I want you to see now, and I want you to put your network marketing hats on, okay? And I know that we're going a little bit long. It almost feels like a super Saturday, but it isn't. But I want to show you something here that's pretty powerful, okay? Let's see here. Now, we have these numbers in front of you are based off of the $99 membership. I don't want to make it only about this strategy because it's not. Guys, when I talked to Luis, he hit me up, and this is just a private conversation. Nobody record this, please. Don't record anything. Hopefully you haven't recorded anything after the recording stopped, because it's not to be used for marketing in any way, shape, or form. If we see any clips of anything that we talked about out there, we'll terminate you immediately. So this is just us talking right now, okay? What you need to understand is that our comp plan right now, what you're seeing in front of you, has to do with a 99. Now, I believe, and this is me because I've been in the education field for many, many years. In fact, 6 years I worked for vocational private colleges, and all we sold was education. So I know the value of education, and I understand education as a business as well. So, if I give you the stats on e-learning, and where that industry is heading, it's in the billions and billions and billions of dollars. And so just the education alone is worth the pricing that we have. I don't care which package. $1,000, access to a Donnie Pips, access to a Roxy Castellanos, Acosta. To these types of people, it's already well worth it. There are people out there selling education only. The Online Trading Academy teaches Forex, crypto, options, and Forex or futures for $30,000. If you go to Life Surge, right, you go to their live seminars and their events, they'll sell you a ticket of $99 for a weekend course. In the weekend, they'll sell you a package of $30,000, and they're only going to teach you options. Only options for 30 grand. I know this because I've been to these seminars, so I know. Right now, the algos that we have are grossly underpriced at $5,000 for the licensing. Okay? Robert Miller, he sells this for $5,000 licensing, but he's only dealing with accredited investors, right? High level worth individuals, and they advertise online and they do that. But that's their model. They sell the license for $5,000, and then the monthly. Check this out. The monthly from 0 to 50,000 is $99. From 50,000 to 100,000 is $250. From 100,000 to 500,000, it's $400. And they tier it up to $1 million. If you're doing $1 million a month that you're investing, it's like a $600 or $700 a month on top of the $5,000 that you paid for the licensing. So that is what we're running right now. We're running with those packages is what we've had, but they've had minimums of 5,000, 10,000, 25,000. So it's not for everybody. Now we have something that is grossly underpriced that can outperform the institutional grade level algos that we currently have. And you can get started with $1,000. Now, think about that for a second. If in the worst month it did 335% on 1,000 would be $350. Would you pay $99 to be able to keep running it? So what I want you to prepare your minds for is retention. Because with something as powerful as this, the retention is going to follow it. Okay? So when you look at these numbers now, how hard is it going to go to get 12 people that want to make an extra money? Extra money on their money. It's just not going to be hard at all. On top of all the education that we're already grossly underpriced for. So 18,000 to 18,000, folks. I did that my first year. Well, not my first year, but in my first network marketing company, right? I did 10,000 the first year, and by the third year, I was at these numbers, and I never made $500,000 a month. I was making at the peak of what I made in my very first company. I was at $80,000 a month, and I was on fire. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like the best thing ever, right? But what I can tell you is that my last Byld was 250,000 reps, made 10 million in a year. So I'm like, I'm so excited about what we have that I kind of want to like jump into the field. I'm not building, right? That's not what I do. I don't want to compete with the field, but I'm like, do you understand what we have? Like, if I was in the field, guys, I would be building like you have no idea. It would be like I would have like a 50% to 60% closing ratio. Every conversation is a yes. That's what you have. And please, I get excited. I'm old, and so I'm at that age now that I can almost say whatever I want, and it's okay. But I'm gonna dial it back a little. I'm gonna dial it back. Okay, Brandon's watching me. I gotta be on my best behavior here. But what I'm saying to you is, this is something that you should be screaming from the rooftops, right? And you're like, you just told us now. No, 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 no. What we've had already, you should be screaming from the rooftops. What we already have. 10% average per month with a track record of 31 months, never losing. I could sell that every day of the week and twice on Sunday, even with a $5,000 minimum. See, that's what I want you to understand. This is already being sold successfully at those prices and higher. So when I have something like this, I need to understand that you understand what it is that you have. This is no joke, guys. This can literally explode on you in like the next 30, 60, 90 days. 30, 60, 90 days. Go on a blitz. Go on a blitz for the next 90 days. That means you talk, you wake up, you while you're eating, while you're sleeping, everything about this. I promise you, if you go out and recruit a few people, your organization is going to explode, because there's nothing out there like this, guys. I can tell you, there is absolutely nothing out there like what I've experienced so far with my own money with this particular algo. I'm about to dump $100,000 into it because it's that good. I tried it. I said, okay, I want to try it with small balances because that's what we're after, right? So I opened up an account of $2,000. Again, don't record me. I don't want to see this anywhere. If you did, you're going to get terminated, okay? But I started with an account of $2,000. From Thursday of last week was when I funded it, to Wednesday of this week, it was up 10%. 10%. Guys, this is like lightning in a bottle. So to get to these numbers now, folks, you need to understand that when you bring people in through the Byld Academy, you have something so powerful built into it. It's retention built in, because they're not going to go off of out of shit. You understand that? They will not go off of out of shit. They can't afford to pay. They can't afford not to pay their out of shit. Because where are they going to go? They're going to go anywhere. So that's what we have, guys. Any questions?
Mr. Pacheco, a question popped up in the chat to clarify that this algo is it a part of the core, or is it an elite or premier?
You know what? That's a very good question, Chris, and I was avoiding it on purpose. I am not going to answer that right now. If I could have my way, yeah, that. I'm not going to answer that question right now. But I
Okay,
am.
so we can say be in Vegas to find out.
No. The right now, anybody that's already in at the Elite and Premier, you guys are going to have this automatically. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Automatically you have it. Okay. Now, I'm gonna have a conversation with my partners, and we're gonna come up with something because I want to do something special. I just want to light up the network. I want to, I'm trying to, if I mean, if we included one strategy in the core, I mean,
Yeah,
I mean,
you're answering. You're answering.
I
You're
know. I'm,
answering.
I'm not going to answer. Forget it. I'm not going to answer. But my thoughts are always to bless people, and if we can find a way to do that, we're going to do it. But yeah, this is really really a powerful tool, and I just want you guys to run with it because it can really not only could it benefit yourself, but it's going to benefit others. It really is going to benefit others, and so. Anyway, folks, that's all I have. Again, we went long here. It feels like it was a super Saturday, even though it wasn't. But hopefully, you guys like what you saw. What you saw. Any last comments or questions? Please put them in the chat, and we could. I have like 7 minutes left before I have to go. And if not, then we could. Oh, well, let's see. There's something here. Okay, let's build. Awesome. Any other questions before we wrap up, guys? If not, then thank you so much for being on here. God bless you guys, and we'll talk again. Bye bye.